What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of the Toxic Fandom podcast. We got Maddie with us. What's up, Matt?
How's it going?
We got Sebi and Mike. What's going on, boys?
Gentlemen.
What's up?
All right. Today, we are going to talk about our main topic tonight is going to be the Penguin show on HBO Max. And it's not HBO Max doesn't like combine with any other thing, right? It's just HBO Max, or is that Cinemax and HBO? Is that where they got the name from? But before we get into that
was the idea, right?
I think so. I think that's what the idea was, because it looks like Cinemax logo and HBO logo combined. But before we get into any of the news and wasting time, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell. We've gotten a bunch of traction lately, which is amazing. I want to say thanks to all the people that have been watching the episodes and in the chat and all the new subs. Thank you for doing that. So definitely subscribe and hit that bell. We need the subscribers if we want to make this show grow. It whatever people say, it helps the algorithm, right? You can also find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, and SoundCloud, which I was talking to the boys. I don't know if we're going to continue that, but we'll definitely continue with the YouTube stuff, and we're really enjoying this. But yeah, definitely hit that up. So we don't have Joe here with us today to do the news. So Mike,
because he heard you were going to read.
Anybody know where Joe is?
You heard I was going to read Vince McMahon's text messages.
Oh, man, he's out.
They're so dirty. Vince, you know what I want you to? I want you to read the news. Somebody do the news, because I can't read those. I read those, and it takes a lot for me to kind of like go, ooh. But those texts made me flinch a little bit.
Yeah, he could be your grandfather. He's so old.
Age is just a number, Mike. You're horny at 80. You're horny
a lot of
at
talk about
30.
numbers.
There are lots of numbers of things and orifices and
Oof.
Oh yeah, man, he was. I gotta give him credit.
I'm kind of interested to see his doc now, just because how's he spinning those?
Let's put that up on the screen there.
Autocorrect.
Vince McMahon. He's got a documentary coming out. Is that right? That's the right way to spell it, right?
Yeah, sure.
Or did I spell documentary wrong? No, I spelled that right too, I think. I don't know. I can't spell
it
very good.
Like a kind of like a feel good story about Vince McMahon when they first started it on Netflix, and then all the bad stuff started coming out about him, and
some of those texts wouldn't feel good.
Yeah,
some of those text messages would not feel good at all.
Oh bueno.
Oh, Harry Perez says, "Oh, we talking about Toto." Uh-oh. I don't know who Harry Perez is, but I like him. Is that Seb in disguise? Is that you in disguise?
Not my burner account. I swear to God. I swear that I don't know who that person is.
I don't know, but he knows us because he's talking about Toto. So he definitely knows who we are. And we ain't talking about the band. But anyway, who's got some news? Somebody give me some news. We got to get off this.
I guess I'm doing that.
Sure, go for it. What you got?
Okay, so what do I got here first? We really need Joe. We don't have an intro if Joe's not here.
Well, I have it, but it's news with Joe.
No.
You want me to do it? I can do it. Watch this.
No. We gotta get him.
You knows it. Well, now we know, and knowing is half the battle.
News with Joe. See how good I am at that?
Perfect. Yeah.
All right. News with Mike.
News with Mike. Sure.
Yeah.
Newly filed. Said you got to make me in the.
I'm on it.
You got to get. I had to make me instead of Joe. Just make him both.
Yeah.
It says newly filed. You saw an article about newly filed tax documents about the Acolyte show.
Okay.
Said the final cost of the show, according to some tax papers they filed in the UK, $230 million. For $1 million a viewer.
For $1 million a viewer. Is that what did they think it was prior to that? Did they think it was like 150
I heard
million?
150s. Yeah.
Yeesh.
That's an expensive turd.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Are they gonna scrap it like they did Willow and get like a tax write-off on it?
No, that's only if they don't release it, right? They can get the tax write-off on it.
No,
but
they
Willow
released
was
You have to
Willow.
not release it.
No, but they released Willow, and then they pulled it.
Yeah.
Like you could have watched all of Willow, because I know people who did. Like my brother watched all of Willow, and then he was like, he's like, you got to watch it. It's so bad. And I went, it's gone. They just took it off the service. I don't know what they'll do with that. I think they're kind of oddly proud of that show, The Acolyte.
Well,
which is
the director was
wild. Yeah, but like, did anyone here watch it?
I tried.
I watched other people review it, so I didn't have to watch it.
I watched one episode, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I tried one episode. I fell asleep
I
within
listened
15 minutes, and then I tried again, and then I was like, I tapped out. I was like, this is.
I listened to a show called Nerdrotic, a very, very big YouTuber on YouTube, and what was that?
Neurotic is toxic. I saw his newest videos.
Oh yeah, he stole our bit. But if any of you out there listen to Nerdrotic, but please tell them to listen to us. Please tell them, do a super chat for Nerdrotic and say, hey, check out Toxic Fandom Podcast. I think you'd like them. But I would listen to him every week, and he would give me the rundown on what was going on. Harry's on fire. I like this guy, Harry. If I wanted to watch lesbian witches, I'd go to the anus. I would go use the anus. Oh, is this Joe Tambini as Harry Perez?
I think
who knows who with the anus is my old computer. That's what the anus is. But yeah, the Acolyte I didn't watch it. But I know everything that happened in it. I know the chant. They're very famous for a chant. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Yeah. We know the chant, which is
Yeah, it was.
And it was all about the Jedi are bad people, and the Sith are the good people, or they're misunderstood. That's the new thing, right? All the bad guys are misunderstood, and all the good guys, they're all bad in the end, right? But
my thing is, for like $230 million, what are you getting? Why spend $230 million on a show that's going on a streaming service? I don't even remotely understand that.
Because
how are you getting that back?
They're not going to get. How many subscribers would they need to add? How many new subscribers would they need to add to recoup $230 million?
I don't know.
I think they had to rewrite that show a bunch of times and refilm it a bunch of things because it was just getting really bad, like reviews and bad press. So they had to keep rewriting it. That added a lot to the cost.
They should have done it at least one more time because it stunk.
Like at some point, you gotta when even $100 million a show on Disney Plus is great. Like, how are you ever recouping that? You're not bringing that many people in for that, especially when you're choosing to go at it in such a divisive manner where you're purposely limiting the audience already. Right? You're going after a very specific part of the Star Wars audience. Let's say. How do the people in charge justify that much money? I'm shocked at the kind of way Disney operates at the moment, like how much things cost, the way they like what Willow, like Seb said, that cost them some ungodly amount of money. It's this high fantasy show, and then it's just gone like it never happened. It's baffling to me what's going on there at the time being.
I mean, it's not. They're not going to recoup money in toys because no one's buying those toys, even if they come out with them.
That's what I mean. Merch
toys aren't even for kids anymore. They're for adults, like collectors. Really, they're like $25 for an action figure nowadays. $50 for a Transformer.
It's crazy.
It's just not supposed
to. Speaking of Transformers, look at me. Speaking of Transformers, Steve, you wrote here the Transformers 1 is actually getting all right to good reviews.
It's getting phenomenal reviews, actually. No, I want to now, though. One guy I listen to, his name is the channel is called Film Threat. His name is Chris Gore, and he's a film critic that does all types of movies. He does the blockbusters, he does the indie films. If you want to know anything about a movie that's in the theater, go watch Film Threat. But he he likes good movies and he dislikes bad movies, and he doesn't say a movie is good because it follows an agenda or doesn't. He's not a right-wing person or anything like that. He gives honest to God judgments on these movies, and he said Transformers 1, the trailers don't do this movie justice at all. And I hated the trailers. That's why I didn't want to see it. I watched the trailers for that movie and I was like, this just looks like a stupid, campy, kind of like Minion style movie with stupid, corny jokes. And like, I know, like, it's meant for kids. I get that. But so was the original G1 Transformers. That was meant for kids too. And it was smart, and it had good messages to it, and it was entertaining for kids and adults. And this movie just looked like silly to me. And he's like, there are really good messages in the movie, and the trailers didn't do it justice. And it's a shame because no one's going to go see it because those trailers sucked. So I want to see it now. I actually want to.
Didn't the first one scar half the little children that saw it by killing Optimus Prime?
The 86 the Transformers the movie.
That's the one you're talking about, right? Having good messages for children.
Yes,
everybody
absolutely.
Dies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody dies in the first 5 minutes just so they can come out with a new line of toys.
Yeah.
You know, that was the whole reason for that. Rito wants to know who's the porcelain Ken doll on the bottom left-hand corner. That's Matt. Apparently Rito has never watched the Popcorn Bucket.
Well played, sir. Well played.
The Popcorn Bucket is our weekly movie review show, and I host that with Matt, my buddy Matt. And Matt and I had a podcast way back when I was teaching in New York City. He was he started a podcast club, and I was the moderator of the podcast club, and that's what got me into podcasting. So you can thank that little porcelain doll in the left-hand corner.
I
don't like that.
Insult.
for this podcast. All right, there, Rito.
Oh, Rito coming and swinging.
Do you guys know Rito?
We do know Rito. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Rito is a long time
show that shall not be named.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's a Patreon too.
As long as I'm not getting dunked on by a total stranger, I can stomach that.
I'm getting dumped on by Harry. Harry is taking it out on me in the chat. I don't know what's going on in the chat with Harry, but I don't know who that is. He knows a lot about me though, so I'm thinking it's
Could be your wife.
So I think it's Joe. Harry's going hard. He's going hard to the paint. He's talking to me like Vince McMahon. Crazy in the chat.
I gotta pull this up. Hold on.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So Transformers, I want to see it. I want to take my son. My son's not really into Transformers, but I want to go see it. Now that I heard.
Well, is there anything Transformery out like besides that? Like, is there a show that they could watch to get them into it? Like, where did this movie come from?
There is a show, but the show gets ripped because of how woke it is. There's like robots using pronouns and stuff.
Yeah.
And is it the same art style and characters that are in this one?
No.
I don't know. I don't think so at all.
It's like a cheesy kind of like.
It's like a Paw Patrol version. It's like a Paw Patrol version.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. My son wants nothing to do with those other ones. The only one he likes is the G1. And you can watch those on Tubi for free. The whole series. He hates the movies. He thinks the robots look ridiculous, and he just
robots using pronouns is silly to me. They're robots.
Also, if you've ever written anything, don't you want people to like it? Like, what child is going to be like, "Oh, thank God, they're referring to Optimus Prime as Zay-Zim or whatever the hell"?
They're not writing it for the kids though. That's the thing. They're writing it for the parent they hope is letting their kid watch it. I don't know who they're writing it for.
You think there's a lot of Transformers fans from the 80s who are really into pronouns? Like, I don't even understand. Like, that's what I don't understand about Star Wars with the Acolyte. Like, who is it for?
It's just kind of strange that it sounds like all these people that are writing children's TV shouldn't be allowed near children at all. Like, those all sound like deranged people.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
Yeah, that group has an interesting mentality, to say the least.
I also don't understand the point. Like, if you don't love the source material in whatever aspect, for whatever show.
Yeah.
Why write a show about it? Just
Because
to change it.
because they don't like the show. That's the thing,
But then-
Mike. They know the show has a following, and they want to get. I have this theory that they are trying to ruin everything that we had because of what it stands for. I think they're doing it on purpose. I think Disney, in some weird way, is trying to destroy Star Wars on purpose, so that it's not what we think it is, and that they can make it into what they want it to be.
No, I can't.
Why else would you make the Acolyte?
They're only
Why else would you
motivated
make
by
that
money.
shit?
They're only motivated by money, right?
But they're getting loans. They're getting loans from these crazy companies that want to push the message, and they're getting. Dude, I'm telling you, they're still making money on it somehow. I don't know how it's working, but I'm a big conspiracy theorist now. But I think this. I think it's all a big scam. I think it's yeah. I think it's all a big. I think it's all happening for a reason. I think it's all. They're playing the long game. They're playing the long game.
Connecting the
What's
dots.
the long game?
The long game is eventually all you'll have is people that believe this message, and then they can just use this IP that is worth so much money that is guaranteed to have fans, and then they can just eventually just push their message.
No, they're losing so many fans. Like how many subscribers they lost?
Steve's putting it up. They want a virtue signal and check boxes. I get that, but this is the same company that recently has in their parks redone their they call it their DAS system, which is like the system for disabled people or people that needs to not wait online, right? They redid that whole system because there were so many people taking advantage of it is what they said, that they had to redo the system so that people couldn't take advantage of it, and they cut out everyone who didn't have anything but what would be considered basically like autism, who couldn't physically or mentally handle standing in line. That in turn made them, like the story came out this week that a guy with stage 4 terminal cancer taking his kids, they denied him, right?
Wow.
So, but what it seems like actually happened was the only reason they did this was the lines were getting so long in those kind of fast pass queue lines that people weren't buying them because so many people were already in the queues to taking advantage of the disability pass, that they were like, well, let's clear those people out of the speedy lane so we can sell more and make the thing we're selling more advantageous. So they're willing to have a media story run that a man with terminal cancer just gets fucked just for $1. I can't see how they would care about any message over money. Yeah. Like they just don't like, and I get it. They're a big company. They should be motivated by money. I just don't understand the decisions, like everything. Agatha all along, right? It's the next news arc. Anyone watch it? Any of you guys watch it?
I did. I watched the first 2 episodes. I watched the entirety of the first 2 episodes.
What are your boys' thoughts?
The first episode. First of all, let me put it this way. I don't understand how they can put the Disney name to this show. Okay? Growing up as a kid and as an adult, you know how much I loved Disney. Maybe not as much as you, because you are the biggest Disney fan I know, Mike.
That's my point.
But I went to Disney every year. I was at Disney World with my wife, and then when I had kids, I brought my wife, and I went with you a couple times. We went together.
Yeah.
My Christmas tree is just almost exclusively Disney stuff. I can't understand how they can air this show and put the Disney name on it. It has a nude woman in it. You see Agatha's bare ass in it. Okay.
What? I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. That I gotta tell you, it's the only reason I put it
on.
Hold
on, boys. Let me get that.
Gotta tell you. He's got plenty of
it's in Steve's book. Just go to 8 minutes in. Don't even worry about the rest of the show.
Right. There's a line in the show, like one of the first lines in the show. The show opens up where she's still in kind of Wanda's spell, and she's a cop, right? She thinks she's a detective, and the chief comes in and like barks orders at her, and she's like, "Eat my ass, chief." Dude, that's in a Disney show. The line "Eat my ass, chief" is in a Disney production. Walt Disney would not be okay with.
We weren't reading the Vince McMahon texts. What's going on?
Yeah. What else?
But
is
that's my point, Steve. Right? You're a giant Disney fan. What has this like? Would you have remotely watched it if we weren't doing this?
Absolutely not.
If we weren't,
and I haven't.
Right. So,
and I canceled my Disney Plus subscription 2 years ago.
So to my point, I can't understand I don't understand the decision making because I've canceled Disney Plus. I brought it back a little while ago, but I had canceled it as well. So I'm like, there's nothing I want to watch. It doesn't do it like a stance. I just there's nothing I want to watch. And my kids like, please bring it back.
Pretty much everything that's like more. Okay.
Rito says more tax write-offs. So when they cut a minimum check to the group they appeal to, they can report the donations publicly.
Yeah, I don't. It's just
big money scheme.
$230 million.
They've lucked into everything too.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, you
had a great original. Like Avengers was Paramount. They bought that. Like they haven't made something that's like a huge hit by themselves in a long. Frozen, they got sued for that. Was a stolen property. Wreck-It Ralph, you hated that second one. I remember that. And all the Pixar movies are just sequels now. I mean, this is not what the company was 20 years ago. And it's just been a complete disgrace, I think, since probably 2010. I can't think of anything that they've made that's really theirs that people actually like.
You want me to give my view on Agatha, though? You want to hear what I have to say about Agatha?
Yeah.
So if you can get through the first show, the first show is really hard to watch. The first show is almost unbearable to watch. And I don't know if it's on purpose or not, because like I said, she's like acting like she's in a cop drama. But everything around her isn't a cop drama. Like there's the world going on around her, but she's stuck in this cop drama. And it's some of the worst cop drama acting I've ever seen. Like, and I don't know if that's on purpose, because some people that I watch say it's on purpose, that she's overacting.
The original series like supposed to be stuck in TV shows and stuff like that, so maybe it's supposed to be bad.
Yeah, so maybe it's supposed to be that, but it is way over the top kind of acting.
Yeah.
However, the second episode, it doesn't really bother me. It didn't really bother me. Now, maybe this is because I don't know anything about this character. I've never read a single comic book about Agatha Harkness. I've never read anything that has to do with her character in Marvel Universe. So I am looking at this as a completely separate show. And I don't think it should be a Marvel show. I think like I heard somewhere else that it should have been Hocus Pocus 3. It should have been named something like that, because the story is not really all that terrible. Like she's a witch. She wants to get her powers back. She has to go down this road and do this witch thing, but she has to go with a coven or a group of witches. And she has to, she goes around the first 2 episodes. She goes around finding other witches that can join her coven so that she can go down the witch's road to get her powers back. The story itself isn't that bad as far as that goes. Like I wasn't really offended by it, to be honest with you. The kid in it, the boy, who the spoiler is going to be Wiccan. He's one of the X-Men, I guess, or he's Scarlet Witch's son or something. I know nothing about him in the Marvel Universe either. He gets gayer as the show goes on. Like he starts off pretty gay, and then he ends up like so gay. Like every minute he's on the screen, his eyeliner gets darker. He has more lipstick on. Like it looks like he has more lipstick on. He gets more effeminate as the show goes on. Does that really bother? He's the worst part of the whole show. If he was out of the show, I don't know if it would be super terrible. Right? He's the worst part of the show, because all he does is tell the ladies how great they are. A lot of people were talking about this is the gayest Marvel show to ever air, or something like that.
Yes, I saw that.
If you were to just watch these 2 episodes without hearing that, the only gay part of the show is the boy. The girls there's nothing that says the girls are lesbians. There's no inclination of that at all. There is one scene. You guys know who Aubrey Plaza is? Sounds like a place, but it's an actual person. Her and Agatha Harkness get into a fight, and they're choking each other. It's like borderline hot. When she chokes Aubrey Plaza has this look on her like she's enjoying it, and I'm like, And you're just seeing the arm, like the hand on her neck, So you can kind of put yourself in that situation with her there. But anyway, I digress.
I
But
thought we weren't reading the Vince McMahon texts.
Oh no,
Again.
Vince McMahon texts were way worse. We're way
No,
worse.
she was
Oh, he's
my
getting...
she was my first celebrity crush, Aubrey Plaza.
Was she?
Yeah, she was
You-
in
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Recreation. Yeah, I was like
Okay.
12 or 11 years old. That was like
Well,
my Jessica Rabbit.
minute 14 and 13 seconds. You want to check that out in episode 1, just if you need something for the memory banks there. But the show's not. I didn't think it was all that bad. And maybe I'm just
Doesn't sound like it's all that good,
though. It's not. Well, I want to watch the 3rd episode. There's one creepy ass character in it that's like scary as shit. They're called the Salem 7, and the Salem 7 are trying to get Agatha before she goes down the road, and it basically just looks like a lady veiled in all black, and she kind of crawls around weird and shit, like The Conjuring or whatever the hell that show was with the girl coming out of the TV. That wasn't The Conjuring. What was that? Matt, what was that movie? The girl coming out of the TV.
That's The Ring.
The Ring, yeah. She kind of crawls around like that, but she's all veiled in black and she's creepy. So I'm gonna watch the 3rd one. I'll watch it until it really offends me. But so far it hasn't. There's my take on that. Sorry. I didn't think it was terrible.
No, I'm not. It's not that. I think that's a weird bar for your television. I'll watch it till it offends me. Not I'll watch it because I like it.
Right.
I'll watch it till I get so furious I can't watch it anymore.
Rito says, so they're trying to get the same audience to release Rocky Horror since they own the IP. Disney owns Rocky Horror? I didn't know that.
Was that a Fox product?
It must have been. Maybe.
See, and that's another weird thing, right? They bought all of Fox. What have they done with it? What Fox products have they added to the parks? What Fox products have they made new shows out of? Like, they didn't do anything with it. Whatever that was, $70 billion for Fox, and they don't use any of it. I don't understand the decisions there.
Do X-Men and all that when that's like the next phase, right? So
they just put out an Aliens movie. They just had an Aliens movie come out.
They did X-Men 97. That was good. Actually, that's one of the last things that Disney has done pretty good. X-Men 97 was a good show.
That got great reviews.
That's the only guy is Feige. He's the only one that seems to have any sort of an inkling of what people might actually like. There's tons of other properties in there.
He made the Marvels. He made the Eternals.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He stewarded them through those first couple, like that first run of films, which everyone thinks are good to borderline great. Like, maybe individually, not one is great, but as a combined 22, 23 film work, come on, that's pretty freaking amazing what they did.
There are a couple of great movies in there. Winter Soldier, even if movie.
Thor 2 is not great, but as a whole, tell one story, create it's amazing what they did.
And we were excited. You would look at Thor on your calendar, May 1st.
Yeah, we used to go opening night to them. That's my point.
Oh yeah, every one of them, every single one of them. And but Thor 2, as bad as it is, it was still.
I'd wait for it to come on TV.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing a Superbox showcase show once a week, because there are so many movies on Superbox that never make it to the theaters. They just go right to DVD or right to Blu-ray or whatever is the thing, and it'll pop up and I'm like, "What's this movie?" And it's 2024, and it'll be some random Western or some random alien movie or something like that. And I'm like, maybe I should just watch a movie that no one's ever gonna see and do a Superbox showcase on it. But we'll see. Who knows? You never know. My content is king.
So good.
Why? Maybe they have a message that people don't want you to hear, and that's why they don't do well. Who knows?
You are crazy conspiratorial guy.
I'm a crazy conspiracy guy. I'm telling you.
It could just be a bad movie.
Yeah, that's more likely.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Wow.
That's fine.
A lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal movies on there that made direct to your Wonder Box or whatever.
And Mav over there thinks that.
That's right.
Mav thinks they're going to release the Epstein flight logs in there, and he's.
All right. Any more news? What else do you got? We got Max. Max and Disney. Max bundled with Disney.
Oh yeah,
and
well
Hulu.
we are talking about Disney, right? Max, Disney, Hulu, and Max, which is an odd pairing, is now going to offer a bundle. The price isn't bad. $16.99. You get all three: Disney Plus, Hulu, and HBO Max for $16.99. With if you're willing to deal with the ads for $16, that isn't horrendous. I actually think HBO Max has some decent stuff every now and then.
I get all the content on all three of those platforms through Superbox. $300 flat fee, one-time flat fee on Amazon. Get your Superbox while it lasts.
Because I subscribe to all of those.
Crazy.
I think I get one through the cell phone and one through my internet company, like at discounted rates or whatever. I'm not sure.
My dad had Max through Spectrum because he was getting Spectrum.
Yeah, I might have something like that.
Service. Or DirecTV. Yeah. No, he was getting He has DirecTV streaming, and they gave him Max, and then he transferred it to AT&T or Verizon, whatever, and they took it away, and he's very upset. And I'm trying to convince him to get a Superbox, but he's going to get so angry at Superbox. I don't even want him to get it because he's going to be calling me up every 5 minutes asking me to fix the Superbox because that's what he does. He calls me every night to tell me there's a bug in there's a bug in the wreath outside. Okay, you got to come over and get it. Why? I don't have to come over no, I don't. Just leave it alone. Let it be. It's gonna get in the house. Oh God. Yes. Move down south with me, Dad. That's what I thought was gonna be a good idea.
Interview your father every week.
Oh my God.
All in the family. Call it All in the Family. Steve and Archie.
Wow, that would be good.
That would be hilarious.
You think so?
2 episodes to get you canceled for calling the Chinese person or a black person the wrong thing. 2 episodes.
Matt has a very good title for it, Matt. Why don't you tell him what that is? What the title for that is?
His name is Ralph, right?
Yes.
Ralph wrecks the movies.
That's right. Right. He would hate every movie. Every movie he would hate.
It's like the critic. But it stinks.
It stinks. Liberals. He would just keep saying liberals over and over again. Speaking of which, J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter Max TV series reboot. What you got, Mike?
I had read that people were freaking out because they said that, oh my God, they're going to recast it as really woke or really a diverse casting over accurate casting because they said that, I forget what was the exact word, and they said that they're looking for they're looking for a very diverse cast. But then I looked, and J.K. Rowling is producing it, and she is not what you would call woke, right? And what got everyone was they put up a casting flyer at the very bottom, the legal stuff at the bottom. They said we're committed to inclusive, diverse casting for every role. Please submit qualified performers, regardless of race, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, all that stuff. But that just seems like a legal thing they'd have to slap on there. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that. I mean, maybe I just can't see her being Hermione's in a wheelchair and Harry's now African. I just can't see her doing that.
Why don't they just do it with their kids or their grandkids, or do it in the 100?
My question is, why do it? Why do Harry Potter? Why
a money maker? Gazillion dollars.
You think? You think so? How did Star Wars work out for everybody?
This is 8 seasons of something you already know works. They're not changing anything. They're just doing it over again. I'm telling you,
they're just redoing the movies.
Or Star
They're just
Wars?
redoing the books. They're doing the books, so it's going to be
one season per book. I think was the idea.
Yeah, it's going to be like Game of Thrones in the beginning, where it's 10 episodes of the book.
So do it in animation or something. Do it. I don't know.
Yeah,
there is one casting already announced. I'm not sure if you guys saw.
No,
they're going to do. Gary Oldman will be playing Dumbledore, which I think is a home run.
Yes. The question is he going to be alive to do 16 years or whatever this will run for? If they do,
I think it's only 8 books.
Yeah, but 2 years a season.
How old is he?
He's only 66.
Wasn't
He's
he in
66. He's got
the
plenty
original?
of time.
Did he
No.
play
He's
Sirius
like-
Black in the originals?
He did.
Was
Yeah.
he? Oh, you might be
Yes.
right. Yeah, you're right.
Yes,
He did.
Yeah.
he crushes everything he's in.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's such a good actor.
I saw some fan casting for that. Well, they wanted to do like a younger version, but I guess you could age him up for this. Is Adam Driver for Snape?
Oh, yeah. He would look the part.
I saw someone do like a pitch
That's
on
a
like
good one,
Reddit or
too.
something. It was like like young Snape when he's like dealing with like the Death Eaters and like being like double agent, and that's
Mm.
Adam Driver. I think that would be a huge hit as a show.
Yeah, that would be good.
But these production companies don't take those good ideas. They just want to. They want to. Like I listen to. Do you ever listen to Geeks and Gamers? They're a pretty good channel out there, and they love Star Wars so much, and they come up with these great ideas because they've read all the novels and they've read all the comic books, and they're like, they should have done this story, they should have done that story, but these, I don't know why, but these production companies just don't want to do the stuff that is almost a guarantee, like you said, Matt. Like that sounds like an awesome concept, but they won't do it.
See, that's
who
my
knows
thing.
why?
I think J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter world is a really interesting world to tell other stories in.
Yeah.
Right? I don't
Yeah.
know if I'd retell the story. Like those movies are reasonably well regarded by most people, right? Most casual fans like it. Most Harry Potter fans like it. I know it's not horrendously
Legitimate
accurate to the
critics
book.
like them.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I
like
mean.
real, like they'll give them. That's like a 3-star movie out of 4 for those guys, and that's pretty good.
So
Yeah.
you're only setting yourself up to fail against that. Like I just don't understand what they're doing. I'd rather tell me a story about another wizard or a different time or which
Another
is what I
school.
guess they tried to do with Star Wars unsuccessfully. I don't
Do
know.
another school. They showed there was schools in like Russia, in France.
That's a good idea. That's an
and
idea,
there's
right?
there's a U.S. Witch agency as well. We saw that in the Fantastic Beasts. Fantastic Beasts movies were pretty good. I mean,
They're
they were
fine. Yeah.
enjoyable.
I don't.
Let's do
I-
like what was that show in the 2000s? Oz, OZ. What was it?
yes.
There was a show called Oz, yeah.
Is it
Azkaban.
so?
Yeah, let's do Azkaban, but Oz. Yeah, let's do that.
Azkaban.
Azkaban.
I think that's a better idea than rehashing the shows. There's no stakes
Yeah.
in the shows. You know exactly what's going to happen, right?
Exactly
You know,
what's gonna-
season 1, if Harry's in danger, you're like, well, I know he kills Voldemort at the end. So
That's
you know,
my issue with Rings of Power. Like everything, what's going to, the ending. Like I'm not scared anytime you put Isildur in a position of danger because he's going to be fine.
yeah.
So
The one I did
Alright.
while we're on like Max specials, I've
Yeah.
always wanted them to do it, and there's a ton of online support for it. Is like do Robert's Rebellion. I think that would be
yes,
sick. Get
Yeah,
Henry
Robert's
Cavill
Rebellion.
to play young Robert Baratheon.
I think he's too old, but I like it.
But you see what I'm saying? Just like
Oh, yeah.
see this guy in his prime with the Warhammer. Because people
Mhm.
like House of the Dragon. And I think in that one you could just do one season. Just do 6 episodes. And I think people would
Yeah.
love that. But these are again, what you're saying is these producers just have these great ideas and then they don't do it. And then somehow something like Rings of Power gets pushed through because of an agenda. And it's just ruining the brand.
They are doing a show called The Hedge Knight. Did you hear about that?
Is that Duncan Egg? Is that what it's called? Duncan and Egg or something?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So Duncan Egg it's actually, from what I understand, it's the only like truly happy ending that you get in Game of Thrones. Like it's a legitimate like knight is a good knight, saves the day kind of story. It's not your typical Game of Thrones. The good guy gets his fucking head chopped off and his wife gets raped the whole time and that kind of stuff. It's supposedly like, like the only good story, like not when I say good, I mean like, traditional story that he ever wrote.
But that's going to be a limited series, right? Not like I think that's a one and done type.
Correct. Yeah, it's a
Done.
one and done. Yeah. Because it's an offshoot from the show itself or from the books itself. But
I
all right.
again, I loved the first 5-6 seasons of Game of Thrones, whatever it was, until they got off book, and then they're unwatchable. And I won't go back and rewatch the show because I know how bad it ends. And like, you know, my older one, I've been like recommending. She's like, "What's a good TV show to watch? What's a good TV show to watch?" And I know she really likes fantasy and all the stuff I like, and I don't recommend Game of Thrones because I'm like, you're gonna love it, and then you're gonna fucking hate it. Like, and like that's,
but she should still watch them though. I mean, they're it's some of the best TV ever made. Those first 6 seasons.
The first, like that horse meme where they show like the drawing of the horse and then it becomes the doodle. Like that's the perfect representation of Game of Thrones. Like it's so good at the beginning, and then
it's perfect. So the first 4 seasons are perfect. It's not, you know, it's not even good. It's like every episode you're hanging on a thread because the stakes are so high. Because you know anyone could really die. Someone could die in the middle of an episode, and they're like, "Oh, moving on." You know, like I like that.
Just throw it away.
Even with like Heroes was like that for me. Like the first like 3 seasons of Heroes was friggin' unbelievable, and then the last 3 or 2, whenever they entered the circus, holy shit, is that unwatchable?
Well, they had the writer's strike that really affected the show.
They were talking about bringing that show back. They were toying around with it.
I don't think they brought Heroes back.
No, I don't think it ever got out of like production, but I think they had talked about bringing that show back.
No, it had 1 season in 2015.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. I remember this because there was a lot of nerds that were excited and nobody cared once it came out.
Yeah. Mikey Hers says, I was going to start Game of Thrones, but I heard it had a bad ending. I talked myself out of wasting my time on something I'll hate the ending of. Yeah, it's a real shame because you need to see the first. You need to see the first, 2/3 of that show.
8 seasons?
It's 8 seasons.
7.
7?
7?
No, 8.
I think it's 8.
You're right.
8, yeah.
Yeah, so like the first 5 or 6 are like the first 4 are brilliant. 5 and 6 are solid. Then it just the left. I would almost agree with Steve. It's worth watching for those early episodes.
It is.
I enjoyed it so much. I read the books from.
So did I. And I hate reading. Like it's Lord of the Rings good. Those first.
And there are endings in the show that don't necessarily come at the end. Like there are arcs and things and transformations that characters go through that are satisfactory before it gets horrible.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's good battles. Like the first real battle is the end of season 2. Like that's a great arc for said characters. I won't spoil it for that fan that's listening. But like that's something I would recommend to anyone that likes media. Like it's excellent.
Even all the way up to the Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
Is probably like that's a really good scene too. But
that's an excellent scene, yeah.
Mike Hurst says, Seb, don't tell him I've never seen Lord of the Rings. How dare you, Mike?
What?
Mike.
Really?
Oh,
to be fair, Mike hasn't seen much.
To be fair.
I think he's maybe seen 10 movies in his life.
Mike, it's the best thing that ever was done in movies, ever.
It's the best fantasy thing by far.
By far.
It is fantasy, right? Like it's the perfect story.
I enjoy like once a year sitting and rewatching them all.
100%. 100%. The extended versions too. Not even the normal
definitely
ones.
Worth seeing.
Yeah.
Yes. No, extended versions. Yep.
What did Rito say? Broke up with my girl. Rito says, broke up with my girl at the time because she loved the ending and I didn't. Turned into a big argument. Yeah, you made the right choice, Rito. Get rid of that.
Yeah, she might have been a little special. She loved that ending.
Jeez. Terrible ending. Poor Jon Snow. I'm not going to say anything, but poor Jon Snow. And I can't wait to see what he does because the book's still not done. There is no real ending to that whole.
He's never going to finish those.
No. You don't think so?
Oh. No, because that was his idea, right? He pitched them how he wanted the show to end, and people fucking hated it.
Mike Hurst says, I remember watching half of the first movie and it was dragging on way too much. I got bored and turned it off. Yeah, the first movie does drag a little bit.
Yeah, Mike's wrong.
Yeah.
Mike's
well,
the Lord touched that boy.
Yeah. You have to get at least to Rivendell when they have the Council of Elrond. You got to get to that. That's where the movie really starts, in my opinion. The Fellowship. That's when it really gets
come on,
involved.
even the early stuff.
Mike, I love all of it. I love it all.
Yeah.
His favorite version is that YouTube version with Samwise Gamgee says, "This is the farthest I've ever stepped from the Shire," and then it goes to the next scene, and then it plays it every time he moves a step.
It's like 13 hours long. 13 hours long. It's so funny. Did you ever see that?
Mikey.
No,
funny.
that's so funny.
Oh my god!
Oh, he's been
How
touched
did you
by an
find
angel.
that?
You have to have.
Oh, Mike
How did I
Trout?
find that?
He touched you.
What?
What?
He said, "I've been touched by an angel." That's an Angels player. I was making a joke.
Speaking about baseball, how do you
Oh.
like this? How about Ohtani going 50-50-50 or whatever the hell he's done?
Seb says
Mike was-
Seb said, "Oh, it's because you played the Marlins." Like I didn't even understand.
Yeah. Mike sent a text.
Oh,
And the text was
I
like,
work with
Ohtani went
the
6 for 6
Dominican-
with 6 home runs. And Sebby's like, yeah, he played the Marlins. Like, they're all Major League
As if-
Baseball players.
It's
As
the
if
Marlins.
Seb's like, I went 12 for 12 against the Marlins. Like, what are you talking about?
It's arguably the greatest day ever had by an athlete on one game.
Oh no, it's against the Marlins.
It's
No,
against
you
the
know what
Marlins.
it is?
doesn't
This
count.
guy I work with, this Dominican guy I work with, like loves Ohtani so much, and he just speaks about him all day long. It's got really annoying all summer long, and I every time I hear his name, I think of this guy I work with, and it just annoys me. That's why I threw some shade on it.
One of the greatest offensive seasons in history.
He's
And
going
I
to win
was really
MVP
impressive.
as a designated hitter.
He has that season every year, though. That's crazy. He's
Yeah, but
he's having the best
50-50
season
is
ever.
insane. To
Who's
hit
the
for
last person
power
to
and
do
be
it?
able to steal 50 bases.
He's the first ever.
Yeah.
Is he the first ever? A-Rod never
No
did
one's
it?
ever done
A-Rod
it.
stole a
No,
lot of bases.
40-40 was the old benchmark.
Yeah.
And that was rare. Bonds did
Yeah.
it, and it's rare. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I texted you about it. We should bring it up on the show. What would you do if you caught the ball? That was kind of my because
Well,
the
you know what
Dodgers
happened
offered
with,
the guy.
Yeah.
The Dodgers offered the guy, I think, $300K, and he said no.
So that's crazy. So
I
like the guy who caught McGuire's 70th wanted he wanted to meet Mark McGuire. He wanted a signed jersey, a signed bat, and that's all he wanted. And McGuire was like, "No, screw you. Give me my ball." And the guy was like,
Really?
"No, go." Yeah. And the guy was like, "Go fuck yourself." And then he sold it for like $200,000 or something like that. And all the guy wanted was like a signed jersey and to meet Mark McGuire. And Mark was like, "No, I'm not meeting him."
That's ridiculous.
For $300,000, I would take $300,000 for a baseball. You got to get that tax free though. You got to somehow work that in there.
The Judge ball went for over $1 million.
What was
Really?
the Judge record? What was the ball for that?
Aaron Judge technically holds what they call the clean record for 63 regular season home runs because he wasn't on steroids.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. They're all on steroids.
You see the size of that guy?
He's built like a brick shit house. Like this.
My mom calls him Herman Munster.
Yeah.
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 Because there was one play we were watching. It was like Sunday Night Baseball, and he plays the outfield, and he's running into the right field of Dodger Stadium, and he just burst through the wall and broke his foot. Like, oh,
Just
poor
his
Herman Munster.
Just his outline is in the wall.
Yeah.
Poor
Did it have a
Herman Munster.
flat top too? Now every time
Uh,
I see him, I'm just gonna be having the Munsters song stuck in my head.
It's ruined it for me.
You should come up to bat playing that song.
That would be great.
Walk up music.
There was one Met player that used to come up to Samson and Son.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
because he was always hurt, so he's like a junkyard.
Rito said he would take $250K, an autographed jersey, and a 5-year season ticket. 5 years.
I
Of season
want
ticket.
season tickets for life. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I want like behind like whatever their legend seats, whatever their package deal is.
Right
I
behind home
want that
plate.
one for life.
So
Yeah.
then he would have to buy it for you because the Yankees or the Mets aren't going to give that to you.
Oh, they would because they want the ball too. Because
Yeah,
that goes in
think-
like the Met Museum or the
You
Yankee
think so?
Museum.
Or does it go to the hall?
I think it goes to Yankees. I think it would go to the Yankees.
I think it would go to the player. I think the player gets that ball.
I don't.
Ohtani
believe
gets
so.
that ball.
The only reason anyone wants that ball is because someone's going to go see it, right? Like it belongs in Cooperstown. I would probably just be like,
Ohtani wants that ball because he wants to put it on his shelf.
Like he's
then
in
he
Little
would
Well, I
League.
think they settled
he'll,
bet with.
yes, like he's in
No,
Little League. He would give it
Ohtani-
to the Hall. He would give it to the Hall
Otani
once the
wants
Hall
that
asked for
ball
it.
so he can put it as a wager on his next gambling run. That guy's
That's
so
true.
guilty.
Yeah, he
Like
needs what do they call
translator.
that? Equity. He needs some
Equity,
type of
yeah.
equity.
Yeah, so Diddy throws all his lube on the table. Ohtani throws his baseball. Then the stakes are high.
Oh, there you go. Rito says Ohtani had to break a record to hide that he is a gambler. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it
Let's
is
go
interesting.
Dodgers.
Like he's clearly gambling.
Clearly,
What are they going to do with him? Because they threw Pete Rose out of baseball
yeah.
for doing the same
Well,
thing.
Yeah.
For
Did
life.
Ohtani ever
Yeah.
comment? Because Rose vehemently denied it for like what, 10, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did Ohtani ever say, I'm not gambling? Wink,
I don't
wink.
know. I don't know. No one knows what he says.
Yeah, it's all mumbles to me. I don't know.
They all speak fluent English, by the way.
Ohtani
Yeah.
does?
Yeah. Yeah. My buddy from work was in because he does medical. He's in the x-ray room just having a full out conversation with Kodai Senga. He's fluent English. He uses a translator. They all speak English.
That's just so they can
Really?
get away with not.
It's because, God forbid they say anything, then it's on the translator. It's not on them.
I didn't say it. That guy did.
Yeah, that guy did. I didn't say. He misheard.
I didn't gamble. That guy did. That's
But
why.
wasn't that his excuse? Wasn't his excuse was like my
Yes.
translator said it wrong or
Yeah.
something like that? That's
Yeah.
great. I need a
I thought I
translator.
was
I need a
thought I was buying
translator.
McDonald's. I had no idea.
That's what Pete Rose translated the next morning. Tweeted. He said, if I had a translator, I'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That dude should be in the Hall of Fame, man. Best
He
hitter
should be in
ever
the Hall of Fame.
play baseball.
It's so
I haven't
Shame.
seen
because
Pete Rose picture upstairs.
I thought it was
There
the worst
are-
haircut ever.
yeah, bowl cut. But
That thing was
Yeah.
terrible.
there are definitely cheaters in the Hall of Fame now. Definitely. There are definitely
David
steroid players. in
David
the Hall of Fame.
Ortiz.
Yeah.
Himself.
Mike Hurst says Otani bet on himself to succeed. Rose bet on a loss, didn't he? No, and
I
Rose
don't-
never bet on the Cardinals.
That's
No,
what they
on
said.
the
He
Reds.
always bet, and if he did, it was to win, right?
Yeah.
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 The
he
problem-
never bet,
with the integrity of it was that, like, if you my dad showed me once, if you look at, like, he would overuse his better relievers on games that he was gambling on. He was like, oh, he's got one more in him, like, sort of thing. Like, and that was where it became a little
To make sure he'd win or whatever.
to make sure he'd win. Yeah. So he's like, okay, I'm going to save him tomorrow because I'm betting on us to beat the Cardinals tomorrow, sort of thing. That's where it gets a little, but he did. Oh, it's true. He always bet on himself to win, which I can respect.
I just I think at this point, there are definitely guys that use steroids in the Hall. There's no way you're going to keep him out now. I think at this point, you just got to open it all up. What are you going to do? You're just going to call it the steroid era and he gambled and what are you going to do?
There's no reason that, I mean, Barry Bonds has to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the greatest hitter who's ever played baseball. And that's before steroids.
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't
look
think
how
Mark
often
McGuire?
he
What about Mark
walked.
McGuire? He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
He's not-
Absolutely.
He's not
He
anywhere
rein-
near what Bonds was.
He reinvigorated the game, dude. He brought people back
Oh,
into
agreed.
baseball.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's an
agreed.
important figure in baseball for sure.
You think
100%.
Barry Bonds is the greatest hitter ever?
I don't.
You look at
Not even.
uh,
I
at
don't.
the
I think
There's argument for it though.
like at the plate with the how often he walked. He like walked almost as much as he struck out. Like it was
Not
in
because
those
he had a-
prime years.
But that was because he was feared.
Yes.
There's a difference between, Barry Bonds walking because people are afraid of him hitting a 3-run homer and Tony Gwynn with the
That's
the
what I was
eye
gonna
that he
say.
had.
Right.
Gwynn might have been the greatest hitter ever.
In
Because
my
Tony
opinion,
Pure
he
hitter.
was.
play.
He's my
Pure hitter.
favorite hitter of all time. Love Tony.
Never hit for power, but just a pure hitter.
But all right, we're over an hour. We got to get it moving here.
To the
All right,
thing
so
we
let's get
promised
into-
to talk about.
Yeah.
Huh?
Let's do some wasting time.
Didn't we
Who's got
waste
some
time for
wasting
an hour?
time? Yeah, we kind of wasted time for an hour. But this is one of my
I'll go
favorite,
first. I fell
snap.
down YouTube rabbit hole this week.
Oh, I literally thought he was going to say he fell downstairs or something, like an old man,
Not yet. Not yet.
very injured.
So there's this guy on Instagram. He came on to like my feed on Instagram. This comedian, and he had started playing like AI yacht rock versions of like Metallica or something. It's like, oh, this sounds pretty cool. So I just went on YouTube. I was like, oh, let me see if I could find any more of these. and there's like a list of 55 of these yacht rock cover songs, and I love every single one of them. I just couldn't stop listening. I was listening in my house, like cleaning, like getting ready for work and everything. I was like, "Oh man, these are so good!" I got in the car, like I connected my phone to the radio in the car. I'm just blasting like I'm a creep yacht rock version, like full blast. They're so freaking good. I want all of you guys to do homework this week and just fall down this rabbit hole. They're so amazing. I love it. I love yacht rock. I don't know when this happened, but like I love like Chicago and Christopher Cross. I like all this like 80s and 70s. Like,
yeah, I was stupefied this week when we were talking about music in our chat, and you were like, "Oh, my son loves Metallica, Oasis," and then he's like, "Rick Ashley, Pearl Jam." I'm like, "Rick Ashley."
Tears for Fears, like there was
I was like
3 months where all he would listen to,
yeah,
all he would listen to was Tears for Fears. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I don't know where he heard this song, but it would be constant listening to that.
Is Tears for Fears yacht rock, or is that more like new age?
That's like new age, yeah.
I still don't like. Besides,
huh?
Well, who's Christopher Cross? What do I know by Christopher Cross?
Sailing.
Ride Like the Wind.
Okay.
Sailing.
Sailing. All right. Besides Chicago and Christopher Cross.
Chicago have like a lot of like yacht rock songs. I don't know how this happened, but like I love that music.
Is it called yacht rock because this is what rich people listen to on their yachts?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like old man, like easy listening rock music. Yeah,
like Matt looks like he's into yacht rock.
I love yacht rock.
Look at him. He looks like he'd be on some boat somewhere in Cape Cod, listening to some yacht rock with his sweater tied around his neck, his little porcelain doll.
I've never done that. I've never done the necktie. That
he ties around his waist.
No, I'll just simply take it off. I don't need it attached to me.
Oh, okay.
It's drinking.
Rito says it's drinking and sailing music.
I don't know.
When I go drinking in. It's funny because we do a lot of lakes down here in the South and with pontoon boats, and we don't listen to yacht rock.
Drinking in pontoon, and that's different.
Yeah, it's so different. We're listening to some George Strait and Kenny Chesney, and we're listening to a lot of different stuff down here. We ain't listening to no yacht rock.
But do that yourself a favor. You'll find it. Just put a AI yacht rock covers. You'll love it.
Rito says yacht rock.
It's not a band.
It's
computer generated covers.
Yes.
So, like, which Metallica song is it?
They have a bunch. Nothing Else Matters is amazing.
Oh, I want to hear Fuel.
It's amazing, he says.
It's so freaking good. They do Creep. They do Smells Like Teen Spirit. They're out of this world. They're so freaking good. And I really wanted to play a game. Maybe we could do it on if we ever get a patron episode. We just released it on SoundCloud, where I'll play a song, and it takes you, if you don't know the song, it takes you a minute to like, what song is this? I know this song. And then when the hook comes, like, oh, it's that. It's so freaking
all right, Seb, we're gonna try it. I'm gonna play one. We're gonna see how it goes. We're doing this because we're critiquing the music. That's what we're going with.
Who's gonna sue you? The AI?
No, YouTube has the algorithm will hear the melody and it will copyright you. But we're going to critique the music. We're going to see how good it is.
So are you talking to the algorithm right now?
Yes, algorithm, please, don't strike us just yet. So
hold on. I got a fix for this. Hold on, check my.
You got a fix for this. Check your what? What am I checking?
I'm gonna put this below my name because now I'm a critic.
There it is.
Okay. Hold on, let me take the banner down.
Critic.
Okay, it's critic. Got it. Okay, music critic.
Okay,
here we go. All right, well, there's good old.
Wait, we got the
James
name in
Hetfield.
it. You got to hide it from us.
Oh yeah, you got to hide the name. So do another one.
Oh, I can't do that. It's gonna say the title.
Professional critic.
I just want to hear it. Here we go. You ready?
This is AI Hetfield.
That's an AI Hetfield. Yes. Wow. And there's too many strings on his guitar, by the way. There's 7 strings instead of 6.
That's how you do yacht rock properly. You get an 8 string.
your best, little one. Won't forget my song to include everyone.
This is
driving now.
fucking awful. This is terrible.
Baby.
This is horrible. This ain't one of them.
Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light.
Oh my God, Seb, this is terrible.
And
You listen to this
I love
willingly.
take my hand.
You put this on purpose.
it. Yes. I
This is
love it.
terrible. I can't take it.
Good.
You're so fucking old. What happened?
Oh my
to
God.
you?
I hope we get copyright struck for that.
2 thumbs up, Seb. 2 thumbs
Thank
up
you.
for me.
Yeah, of course.
I love that.
Of
It
course
doesn't
you do.
sound anything like them.
It's not supposed to.
It's a parody.
It's a parody.
Wow. Wait till the chorus. It's good, Ritos.
That was the chorus.
That was the chorus. What else you got, Sebby? What else? I'll look for another one. What else you got? What else? Let's do this.
Rito, that
This
was
is
great.
It smells like Teen Spirit. Find that
Smells
one.
like
That's
Teen
a good
Spirit. You got it. Okay.
I got to keep my critter banner up. Critter,
Yeah.
sorry.
Your critter banner up. Oh, jeez. Okay. Smells like Teen
You
Spirit.
need to put "World's Oldest Man" under as your title, Seth.
Creating your first video.
All right. Let's see what we got here.
Oh my God.
We're going live with the world's oldest man.
I thought I was old. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Am I still sharing it? Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're good. Okay. Here we go. Oh my God, Zeb. This isn't Chicago is so much better than this.
Nice.
I don't think I like Yacht Rock.
No, Yacht Rock sucks.
Load up on guns, bring your friends. Fun to lose and to pretend. She's overboard and self-assured.
I wouldn't even recognize this.
I know a dirty word. Hello, 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 how low? Hello, 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 how low? Hello, 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 how low? Hello, hello, hello. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now.
Dude, I would never guess that was a Nirvana song ever.
And listen, dear listener, it's
Yeah.
not sounding like the sound quality coming through Steve's computer. It's not the same. So if you
They
don't
might be
think it
hearing
sounds
it
good-
like I'm hearing it. They might be hearing it like
Yeah.
I'm hearing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it might
Seb,
be
there
better
is
than what
a
you're hearing.
Bully somewhere looking for a nerd. Like that.
Yeah. And we're giving them
Telling
your
you.
address.
it's amazing. Yo,
Oh,
Matt, you
man.
should talk to your
You really
employer.
like
see if
those?
they can throw a few of these between innings, you know.
I'll see what I can do, but I don't think that they're going to go for it.
Oh my God, that is the worst.
You really
It's
like that?
amazing.
Dude,
You
when you
really
said, "Oh, it's
enjoy-
like Chicago," I was like, "Oh, I like Chicago." That's nothing like Chicago.
Oh, it's close.
It's
Nothing.
close. What are you talking about?
Oh, I can't play a Chicago.
They play
song.
Chicago
Yeah.
and Yacht Rock all the time, by the way.
Yeah.
Do they?
All
right.
the time.
I
It's a
don't like
great
Yacht
thing.
Rock.
Glory
then.
of
I've just
love
decided
and-
I'm out.
I think
Well,
they play. I
that's-
think they play Brandy every hour.
You said
Oh,
Brandy.
okay.
You're
Yeah,
a fine-
every
That one?
every by Looking
That's
Glass.
Yacht
I think
Rock?
they play that
That's
every
Yacht Rock.
hour. Oh my
I
God,
don't-
he
talk
loves
about
the sea
sailing
more
in
than
that
the
one.
lady. It's the whole
Who
thing.
talks about
So, like, any song about the ocean is now
Anything-
Yacht Rock.
Oh, that's totally in bounds. Yeah, anything that has to do with the sea, it's all in.
the
all
sea is
in
So
always
the
there.
right.
wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, row, row, row your boat, and
There's got to be a horn or a synthesizer in it.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to think what other songs are about the sea.
Under the
Oh,
sea.
man.
Under the
the
Sea by
Sea.
Little Mermaid.
Yacht Rock. Okay.
The Tide by the Righteous Brothers. I'm trying to think.
The Tide is High by Blondie. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man. Okay.
anyway,
Anybody?
yeah.
Anybody else waste any time?
Ooh.
Let's see. I
I
had something. I wrote
watched-
something down.
Chimp Crazy. the follow up to Tiger King.
Oh,
Okay.
It's the same guys who made the same two producers that like did Tiger King. Spent every minute since then trying to track down more crazy animal people. And like I heard them do an interview, and they had like people who had into snakes and people who were into all, and they finally like fell on something called monkey moms. These like crazy older women that raise monkeys as if they're their children. And they stumble upon this one woman who raises chimps, and it is as wild as Tiger King, but for completely different reasons. Like he was all drugs and weird sex. Like this lady is insane, and it's an insane legal drama about her and her chimps. It's on HBO Max. I think it's only 4 episodes. It's definitely worth watching. The lady is a psychopath.
Does she have an arch enemy like Tiger King?
PETA.
And
PETA.
Oh, really?
It's PETA the entire thing. Like the lawyers from PETA are doing the to camera interviews. Yeah, if you like Tiger King, and I don't know if Tiger King was good or it was just because it was during COVID and there was nothing else to do, but this is in the same vein as that.
Jesus,
it's better than Yacht Rock.
No,
oh yeah, no,
that's impossible.
It's just not.
Oh man, Matt, you waste any time?
Wasted. When's the last time? Oh, I did. I got like kind of a little autistic this week and did some like Nickelodeon math. It was really bad.
What's that mean?
So I was talking with. What's up?
I don't understand any of those words.
No?
I got autistic and Nickelodeon math.
You've been listening to too much Yacht Rock. Rots your brain.
What's Nickelodeon math?
Because I don't know. I don't even know how this happened. But me and Brooks were texting back and forth about the Knicks Kids Choice Awards. And then like we were talking about like what won the most, and it took me like an hour. I did all of the math of like who were the most winningest Nick Kids Choice Awards, and there was some really weird.
You are autistic.
Yeah, 100%. There was some really weird categories back in the day, like best couple. Oh my god!
You did analytics on the Knicks Choice Awards. Is this what you're telling me?
I have like 5 pages of legal pad upstairs that are just Nick Kids Choice Award statistics.
Oh my god!
I got so bored.
Well, I know what we're doing next episode on.
That's what me and Brooks talks about. Yes.
For those of you who don't know who Brooks is Matt's cousin who used to be very integral in our old podcast. He's an amazing animator. He said
he would come on, by the way, because he has a podcast now as well.
He was on one of our shows. He was on the podcast back in the day. He was on one of those. Remember? He was a guest.
Yes, he was. I remember that.
He was a guest.
Funny enough, he told a story about being on a boat.
He did tell a story about being on a boat.
Was I not there?
Right. Yeah. You might not have been there, maybe. I don't know. But he did talk about being on a boat. It had nothing to do with Yacht Rock. No, Mike might not have been there.
Oh, Mike.
I want to find
what the hell did you used to say every time you wanted Brooks to make a
get on it, Brooks?
Get on it, Brooks.
Get on it, Brooks. Yeah.
Get on it, Brooks.
Dude,
that's great.
Cut-ups of Steve's stories about deers and ticks, like,
that's the best one.
Still make me laugh in a way I can't put into words.
I still watch them, and the funny part of it is, Mike, they were all your stories about my town having deer, and you just put me into it. Remember the going to Home Depot and I need tick spray or something?
Yeah.
That was the best
There's a line in that where fucking Joe says, "I'm losing this fight. I'm outside in Dad's tube socks." Holy shit!
I think you said that. I think you were the one that said that.
No, I said, look, he passed out. That we get to bite him in the face. We never get to bite him in the face. That's when you decided you were going to try to eliminate all the ticks on Long Island, on Staten Island.
That's right. In my yard, at least. Yeah. Oh, that was funny. I was covered head to toe in the middle of the summer. But Rita says, Mike, was it you that wrestled a gun off a guy in a pawn shop?
No, I've never been in a pawn shop.
I've been in lots of pawn shops.
Yeah, it was.
Pawn shop. No, never mind. Yeah. Right, my mistake. My mistake. Yes, my mistake. It wasn't a gun. It was something else. So tell us more about this math. If you got anything else to talk
about. Good. I mean, because Andrew was Brooks was texting me. He was like, I thought that America's Funniest Home Video won all the awards. And then I did all the math and I found, because in 2008, they started a different category for best reality show. And just bit by bit, American Idol won 4 years in a row.
Wow.
It was like to start the category. And then somehow America's Got Talent battled all the it was very dramatic. And then they had like really weird categories that you can't do anymore, like best couple. And it was like,
why can't you do that? You have so many different combinations now.
I know, but they don't do it anymore. Again, it was very interesting. And it was like in 1 year, it was Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart and Taylor Lautner. And then that's nice. And then the third nominee in the category was Michelle and Barack Obama. And I laughed.
I'm going to drop a box of toothpicks. You tell me how many are on the floor, okay?
78.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you go back and like pull up lists of old?
Oh yeah, from like 1998. Did you know Alf won best TV show for the Knicks Kids Choice Awards in 1998?
I can't believe it.
1998. Alf?
Alf won. The most winningest live action sitcom in Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards history was Home Improvement. I mean, there were a lot of things you wouldn't expect.
Wow. Tim the Toolman Taylor.
1998.
He did always have
1988.
Yeah, 1988. Yeah.
Oh, 88.
You said 98. You said 98.
No, sorry, 1988. Sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's been going on for a long time.
SpongeBob made a comeback.
SpongeBob has won 21 of 22 times.
All right, I can take one more statistic about this. That's it. Just one more.
I'm done.
Okay.
Cut me off.
All right.
That is so amazing. That's what you and Brooks talk about.
Oh my God, we talk about stuff like that all the time.
Oh,
Wow.
You should talk about Yacht Rock with him. Let me know what he thinks.
Yeah. Yeah. Nick, we have to do something with Yacht Rock next week. We have to do
I'm
something.
gonna have to text him. I'm gonna be like, by
We
the
need
way,
to do a Yacht Rock song. I think Yacht Rock song of the week, curated by Seb.
Yeah, Seb. We got to do that. So get on it.
Get
on it, Seb.
Get on that, Seb.
Let's see. Wasting time.
I think I win for wait. I think I wasted the most time. That's unbelievable.
Yes, you did. Hip hop songs done in a Yacht Rock style.
Okay.
Well, there's some
Tupac
on the
and
list.
Biggie.
Look, he was like, "Who are some of those? Save it for next week. Save it. Don't blow
Okay.
it all in one night. Come on, Seb."
Okay, all right.
I thought we weren't reading Vince McMahon texts.
Yeah. Yeah.
You beat me to it. Good man.
So I got two things here. So the other day, does anyone here have a Ring doorbell?
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Well, I have a Ring doorbell.
I live in the
Do
country.
you have a
No one's ever used my front door ever.
ever? Yeah, just use the
I
back.
honestly
screen door.
think I might have opened it 5 times since I lived there. Everyone comes.
Isn't
in the
that
back door.
wonderful? It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hey, we're not talking about
What
Vince
is it,
McMahon.
always coming in the back door. 3 at a time. So what? That's what the text said.
This makes it funny.
So I live in a subdivision with 400 or 500 houses, right? That's what people move down south for, moving right next to other people all the time. Big mistake, but I got a Ring doorbell just like everybody else in the neighborhood. And when you first get it and you turn it on, it's very sensitive. Anything that walks by will get picked up and it'll go right to your phone and it'll tell you someone's in front of your door, someone's in front of your door, someone's in front of your door. So you turn it down a little bit. You turn the sensitivity down. So I don't get the notifications as often as I used to. So I'm at work the other day and I get a little message that's like, someone's at your door. So I turn it on, and across the street from me in this subdivision or development, whatever you want to call it, is a big grass, like play area field. It's just a big empty grass field. And it actually has a grave on the top of it of the person who used to live on this land before the developers came and bought it out. Right. So there's a grave and then just this big grass field. And across from that are more houses. But what do I see in the middle of the grass field? Anybody want to take a guess at what I see in the middle of the grass field? Burning crosses. Good guess. Nope. You're a couple of decades off. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Civil
not Bernie
War
crossing.
reenactment.
No, that would be all of those things would probably be less dramatic than what I did see.
A black guy.
I saw a God, Mike, stop it.
Very dramatic. But Steve, it's got a special alert on his door.
Oh my God.
All right, well, fun doing the show, guys.
Yeah, this was a great
That
show. I
is
had
why you
fun
moved
doing
down
this.
south, right? So you put in the Texas all the time.
Oh my God, please, Michael, please. What I see across the street on the big grass field is a full-size hot air balloon draped into someone else's yard, over the fence of someone else's yard. Do you ever see how big a hot air balloon is?
Yeah.
They're massive. The hot air balloons are this thing is probably the size of my house, which is about 40 feet tall. Okay. And my house is probably 40, 50 feet wide. And that's how big this hot air balloon is. Now, we've seen these hot air balloons for 4 years as we drive to work. You see them up in the sky. They give people rides every morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning. You see the same 2 or 3 hot air balloons just floating by the highway. It landed in my subdivision in the grass across the street from my house. I couldn't believe it. That when I turned on my Ring doorbell, there it was, right there, right outside my door.
Did you yell, "Hey, you can't park here"?
Get off my
alternate
lawn.
side. Off my lawn. Well, yeah, I couldn't believe it. But yeah, they crashed, and like the cops came, and now I just see the whole movie. I can watch it live on my Ring door cam, which is pretty cool. So that was one thing that happened to me this week. Another thing that happened to me today actually was I got homesick for the first time. I moved here almost 5 years ago, and I've never, ever, ever, ever felt homesick for New York in the time that I've been here. And do you know what it was that made me feel homesick? It was Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports. So I was watching some YouTube shorts today at work, being productive. And a Barstool came up that was like, oh, Dave Portnoy gives his highest rating ever. And it was someplace in New Jersey. And I was like, I wonder if he ever did my place, like the place where I got pizza every day or every week for my entire life growing up in Staten Island, which was right around the block from my house, called Jimmy Mac's. And I type in, Barstool Sports, Jimmy Mac's, and he
Jimmy
did it.
Max or Jimmy Mac? Sorry.
Max, M-A-X.
Oh, okay.
Jimmy
A real good
Yeah.
Italian last name.
Yeah. No, I think he's Irish, actually.
It's short for Maximilio.
The best kind of
Something like
pizza.
that. And he did it 7 months ago, and he gave it a decent score. It was like a 7.8 or something like that, which is a pretty good score.
By his standard, that's very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah, by his standards, it's very good. And it was my every time I go back to Staten Island, I go there. That's the first place we hit up. We go there, we get a pie, we get some mussels in red sauce or whatever. Little Joe met me there last time. He liked it. But it wasn't the fact that he went to the pizza place. He was standing outside the pizza place where I used to wait for the express bus to take me into work every morning. And there was some guy, that people pull over and watch him do the review. And he starts talking to this guy. He's like, hey, I just saw you. I pulled over. We're a big fan of yours, this and that. And it just reminded me of home, because he was just a normal Staten Island guy. And he's like, oh, I live right up the block. I was at the bank and I saw you pull. It's the most Staten Island conversation that you'd ever heard. Like, this was every conversation you've ever heard between people in Staten Island. He's like, would you mind coming up to my house? I'm right up the block. My wife loves you. Would you mind? And he does. He goes to the guy's house. The wife comes out with a little baby named Adriana. It's really, everything's real super freaking Guido. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. Can I FaceTime my father? Tell him you're here. And it was just like, holy shit. Like, it was the first time in 5 years that I actually felt like, man, I kind of miss home a little bit, but I got over it pretty quick, and now I'm good again.
Yeah, when your dad called, like, there's a bug in the bush.
I'm moving back to Staten Island.
Shit, I'm back home.
Man, he called me up last week, and every time he calls you, when you answer the phone, he goes, "Where are you?" That's his first thing. He's like, hey, hello, where are you? Oh, fuck. And then you have like 3 seconds. Like, if you hesitate, he knows you're home, right? So you got to be real quick. Like, I'm painting. Or I'm taking Alana to softball practice. Like, if you hesitate, he knows you're home. So I'm like, I'm home. Why? What's up? He goes, I need you to do me a big favor. And he always makes it sound real, like real important. I was like, what? He's like, you gotta turn on my sprinkler, but don't let mommy know you're turning on the sprinkler. I'm like, why? Why? Just put the sprinkler on. He's like, no, if she hears it, she's gonna flip out, and I don't feel like hearing her shit. And he's like, just come over and just put it on. Just don't tell her. Just come over and put it on. I'm like, Dad, I'm like, it's midnight, Dad. He's like, oh, what, you can't do it. I'll do it for you. I'm like, oh, all right, fine. And then I get
No,
up
you
at
wouldn't.
midnight. No, you.
You need to call him tomorrow and be like, listen, I need you to come over here and put on the sprinklers.
You should have said, no, you don't need to. I got this fancy irrigation system in my lawn that I spent $9,000 putting in.
He has the same one, Seb. He has the same irrigation system. He doesn't know how to use it. I have to go there and open the box and turn it on. So my solution to this was, yes, back to Vince McMahon. So what I did was I actually hooked up my my phone to his sprinkler system, so I can just do it remotely now. So now that he knows that, he's like, hey, he calls me up. He goes, hey, can you hit the button? Can you do the thing on the phone with the grass?
Wait,
I'm like, yes, Dad.
You can't just program it to come on.
He does. He has it. He wants it extra. He worries about nothing but his grass. That's all he's worries about. That's it. How green his grass is, how tall his grass is.
Does he
That's all he
critique
worries
other
about.
people's grass? Hey, look at his grass.
He the only time you'll
I
ever
do
hear him
that
talk about
now.
someone else's grass is when he's like, his grass looks fine. Why does my grass have all the leaves on it?
That's what I do.
Like all the leaves fall off the trees purposely onto his lawn and not onto other people's lawns. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Yeah. So I'm seeing Kings of Leon tomorrow. I'm wasting that time tomorrow. I'm seeing Kings of Leon for the third time. Don't know if you guys are ever like them or anything like that, but they've been around a while.
Sex on Fire, guys.
Sex on Fire. The dude, that was like 15, 20 years ago, man. I can't believe it. How like that feels like it was yesterday when I was playing that song in bars with my band. Yeah. But anyway. All right, so let's get into the main topic, which is the Penguin episode 1, season 1 on HBO Max. This is the new DCU the Batman universe Penguin, played by Colin Farrell. He was in the movie The Batman. He played the Penguin. He plays Oswald Cobb. I don't think it's Cobblepot, right? It's just Cobb.
No, it's Oz Cobb. It's not even Oswald.
Oz Cobb. It's not even Oswald. It's Oz Cobb. Very different portrayal of the Penguin than what you would think of in Batman Returns or Batman 66, right, with Adam West. Very not campy, right? The Batman 66 one was very campy, and that was Burgess Meredith, right? That was real campy,
yeah,
real over the top, which was it's great in its own right? It's just very different. The one with Batman Returns was it was Danny DeVito. That was really like a grotesque Penguin. Yeah. Like he was all kinds of weird, but again, played very, very well. Two good iterations of the Penguin. This is not anything like that. This is literally just a fat mobster with a weird looking foot that hobbles around because he has a weird foot. I really like the show. I really like the show. I enjoyed it a lot. And yes, that is a good review. That's what's on the back of the VHS tape. A fat mobster with a club foot. But I really enjoyed the show. There's one thing I dislike about the show. And until that thing bothers me enough, I'm gonna keep watching it. But I really liked the show. It was a typical modern mafia show, in my opinion. Didn't necessarily feel like a Batman show. Didn't necessarily feel like a DCU show. It felt like a mob show. Yeah, it could very well be Tulsa King, but with Oz Cobb.
That is kind of my biggest complaint about the show.
Yeah.
It in no way feels like a Batman anything. I'm not that's my point. Matt Reeves clearly can do good crime television, just do a crime thing. Because there's going to get to a point where the Penguin becomes so powerful or does something so terrible that you're going to be like, where the fuck's Batman? Like, why isn't Batman here stopping this?
Well, maybe he will show up. You never know.
There's no goddamn way they're pulling that vampire ghoul out of wherever he is and putting him back in the suit for a TV show. There's no way. There's no way.
Hey, got a new listener. Billy Judd says Danny DeVito rocked as the Penguin. That was a good penguin. It was a creepy looking penguin, man. I remember that scaring me as a kid.
I got
Didn't he have,
scared
like,
as well.
he had like black teeth, and didn't he like smile at one point and have like just black ink dripping out of his mouth? That's
Because
like
he
what
was
I
Yeah,
remember.
eating
after he
the
bit
raw
you guys'
fishes, and the
nose off.
fish's blood would come
Like
out of
Gollum.
his mouth.
He was like
Yeah.
Gollum. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, Mike. And like they say things that are in the Batman universe. That's the closest you're going to get to Batman in this universe, right? They say Falcone a lot. They say Arkham a couple of times.
Yeah, Maroni and yeah.
They say
You know
the
what I-
Batman. The first
They say
the opening
Batman,
monologue,
yeah.
they talk about the Batman and the
Yeah,
Riddler.
that's it. That'll be it.
Yeah. And that's all you're
Wow.
going to get.
We'll see.
Like you're not going to like. Do you think he ever hooks up with other villains?
I
in
don't
this
think
show?
you're even getting a second season of this because I don't think. I think Colin Farrell's actually excellent in the role. I don't think he
He's
wants to do it
fantastic.
because of the amount of makeup and stuff.
4 hours to put that on.
Yeah,
By the end, they got it down to 2. So maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
he's transformed into that character. It's amazing.
They did use the same music from the Batman, which I liked because I love the Batman theme, right? That really dark, ominous kind of like organ-y music was
Mhm.
really cool. It picks up a couple of weeks after the end of the Batman the movie, and Falcone was murdered. Was he murdered in the movie? Was he
Yes.
murdered?
yeah,
at the
that's
end
the
of
guy who
movie?
gets shot under the light.
Right. So
Right, that was the
Falcone's
big thing.
Yeah, he's the head of the mob in Gotham City, and he gets killed, and his son Alberto is going to take over. It's the spoilers ahead, so if you're going to watch the show, spoilers ahead. But his son Alberto is supposed to take it over, and Oz. Well, what struck me really interesting was that Oz is not he's a low level thug
Mm.
in this show, right? He starts off as a
You
low
think
level thug.
I think he's like mid-level because he's known.
Yeah, he runs the Iceberg Lounge, doesn't he?
Yeah,
runs
and
the
the
line.
drug factory.
He's like
When I
he's like
say-
a captain, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, when
But
I
he's
say
not
low
the
level,
Don.
I meant he
Yeah.
wasn't. He's not in the first 2 or 3, in
No.
command.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Yeah, a low level thug is the kid Victor, right? That's a low level thug, I guess, in this
Yes.
show, or anybody working at the factory. So yeah, you're right. But it was surprising to me to see that he was a subordinate of any kind. I thought, when I think of Penguin and Oz Cobblepot, I think of someone who's already, established in the crime scene. Let's see, we got some things here. Let's see. Rito says this show plays with the point of view through tension. If you notice, Batman will be seen through their POV. It's meant to be scary. So how do you think they'll be seen? How do you think Batman will be seen through their POV? Will he be just jumping from one building to another? Will he be a shadow in the alleys? He's not going to show up in the show, right?
No, they
I would
already
doubt
said
that.
he's not, unless they're gonna pull a trick on us.
Once they pull a Luke Skywalker season 2 of Mandalorian.
Billy says, "I hope Danny DeVito cameos in the Penguin TV show as the Penguin or as Danny DeVito. That would be
In
funny."
a Jersey Mike's commercial.
Yeah, where's the turkey? He was in Beetlejuice. He was in the new Beetlejuice movie.
Yeah.
For like a
Maybe he
second.
could be it would be a good cameo if he was like the Penguin's suit guy. Like the guy that makes the clothes. He's like, oh, you need a top hat. Oz, it's going to look beautiful. Like that kind of sort of thing. That would be funny.
Yeah.
If you want
Yeah.
to get him.
Or
in there.
he's his dad. Right? Because like
Right.
they clearly like the thing of like he's the 3 brothers, like when he went to the mom's house and they're showing how he grew up, hard scrabble life. It'd be if his dad was like abusive, or that the mobster, I thought that scene where he sits with the son and he kind of tells him the story about the mobster in his neighborhood that when he grew up was like all the
Yeah.
neighbor that's exactly what happened where I grew up. Exactly what happened. When John Gotti died, they threw a goddamn parade in Howard Beach for him. Like that, like you would think the Pope went. But like he could be, it would be fun to have Danny DeVito as a flashback of Danny DeVito be that character. But
that would be funny.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
pretty
think
cool.
overall the show's good. I do. I think it's good.
Yeah.
I don't understand why it has to be Batman. Just make it a cool crime, right? Like The Sopranos is a unique thing. Make it a unique thing. I would watch it just the same, I think.
Now
You're putting expectations on it by putting Batman. You're giving me certain rules that exist in that universe, certain characters I know, you're setting expectations.
It could be also setting up that world for the next Batman movie. And then he'll be a higher level crime boss in the next Batman movie. I don't know who's going to be the main villain, but it could be that as well.
Now I knew you were going to say that, Mike, because you had said something like that in our text thread. And on my way home from work, I was thinking of how I was going to respond to you saying that, because like it's just like it's just like any other spin-off, right? I mean, they have this property and he's a mobster. So how else could you, without making it a Batman TV show, because obviously they're scared to do that, right? They're either scared to make a Batman TV show or they don't have the money to make a Batman TV show, and they need to keep the rights to these characters so that they can keep making movies and stuff. How else do you do a Batman spinoff without Batman?
I don't think you do.
Would you rather just only have Batman movies and that's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really getting to that point where and I don't need one every year. Give me one every 4 or 5 years now, and I think I'd be way
special
happier.
Well, you're gonna get two Batmans now, right? You're gonna get this Batman and the James Gunn Batman, whatever.
I am in no way energized by anything that James Gunn is going to do. I much rather see the Reeves, the Batman, than James Gunn's Batman, whatever that DCU is going to be. That's just my opinion.
Cast that yet or no?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
No, they might have cast Batman.
No.
Yeah. They did Superman for sure because they're shooting that movie. I don't know if they did Batman.
I'll give you an example. The sister, right? She's great as like the crazy younger sister. The actress is good. Their interplay is really good when they're having that lunch. But like it starts out with like, oh, she's a serial killer they just let out of Arkham, and I'm like, ugh. So just to throw the word Arkham in, you're gonna expect me to believe that they released a serial killer out of Arkham? Like, I can find out. Get out there.
Well, they made you think that she was in there for a very long time because he was very surprised to see her. Yeah, she's probably in her 40s.
Young. Yeah.
She might have been in there for 20 years.
Yeah, I guess.
I didn't like. So in the show, he immediately kills Falcone's kid, right? That
was a shock.
That was a real shock. I thought that was going to go on for a couple episodes.
I actually thought it was going to be in his mind.
I thought
where like I was like, he didn't do that. He's going to flash into reality where he didn't. Yeah.
He insults him and then he gets mad and he shoots him 3 times and then he's laughing about it and then he realizes what he did. He's like, oh, and then it cuts to the. I thought that was done well. That was really funny.
But it feels like a long time where we haven't had one of these movies or comic book properties where it doesn't feel like the main character is just a complete idiot. Like Oswald seems very competent. Like when he gave him, he gave the guy that the prison guard from Shawshank. What was it? That was Maroni.
Oh, Salvatore Maroni.
That was Salvatore. He gives him the ring, and I'm like, oh, what is he doing? And now at the end of the episode, you're like, okay, this is a great plan to actually pit these two families against one another. Like, I'm very interested to see how, because he's going to come out on top, because they're doing the Batman 2.
Mm-hmm.
So the challenge is, how do you make us not fall in love with this guy while also making him like the most ruthless? He's a villain. Like, he's going to be an integral part of the second Batman movie, if not one of the main villains. Like, it's just going to be like, I like what's going on here. This could be really, really cool. Like, if we have a great ending of this season and then this movie comes out in 25 or 26 and this leaves us kind of like, oh shit, here comes the Penguin. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys. I don't know much about the Penguin other than he just, he runs the mob in Gotham. What interactions in the comics or big interactions with him and Batman happen in the comic books that make him such an evil villain. Because to me, he doesn't seem like an evil villain like the
No, he's
Joker's an
not.
evil
I
villain
think
or
that's
the
like
Riddler.
I think Matt's point's good, right? Like in the comic, he's not physically imposing, and he's such like a mustache twirling, chewing on a cigar villain. You're not even like, oh, he's not even menacing and smart. Like he's
Yeah.
just a comic book villain. In this, because he's not physically imposing, they make him really cunning and clever, which I thought was an excellent way to write it, right? He's not bigger, he's not stronger, he's not physically imposing, but he's smarter or more devious than the other characters. I thought that was a really smart way to play it. Ruthless. Yeah.
He doesn't come across as ruthless yet. I mean, he probably will in the end, but I don't think he's ruthless.
He shot a guy
yet.
for making fun of him, and then he shot at kids for stealing the tires off his car. Like
he shot
and
at the kids,
and he let that kid die.
Yes.
The other kid he lets die.
Yeah.
And he was gonna kill Victor.
He could talk his way out of anything too. Like he keeps weaseling his way.
Which is the
out
only
of
thing that would make sense, right? Because like if he was in the mob, like he's not muscle, he's not like, you know what I mean? Like why would you keep him around? Because he's able to manipulate his situation. I like that idea, but again, that could be any character in a mob, like right, just some scrappy kid who breaks it up, and then I guess maybe people wouldn't watch it as much if it wasn't Batman. I think it's had 5 million viewers already.
Exactly. People are going to watch it because it's Penguin. And it's Batman.
So do you guys like the Victor character of the whole thing? I think that's a really good idea.
It's the only part I hate about the whole show.
You hate?
I hate Victor.
Why?
Victor sucks. Why does Victor suck? He's not interesting. He talks too much. Like, I don't think the Penguin would have put up with how much Victor spoke to him and asking him questions. He would have and he's never gotten slapped. He's never gotten like, if that was a real mobster, right? It almost felt like Oz didn't act as Oz with Victor. He acted as Oz with everybody else, including his mom, but he didn't act as a tough gangster with Victor ever
because of his stutter. I think he saw, I think he sees the disability like he has with the bad foot and kind of feels bad for the kid. Because I think, like Sam said, he was going to kill him, right? He's like, look at the sunrise, and he was going to kill him. And I also think the Penguin, because he was disabled in whatever way and probably had a rough life, like that scene where they're in the car and he's trying to talk to him. He's like, you like that air freshener? It's aqua, whatever. Like he's so awkward himself. That like just having someone to talk to, I think he likes.
Oh,
he has no one, right?
And true sociopaths have the only empathy that they have are for children, like younger people and small animals. So if you're sticking true with the whole Tony Soprano comparison, the Penguin is going to be a complete sociopath, and Tony Soprano only ever has sympathy for children and small animals.
Yeah. Rito says, did anyone else cringe when he had the barbed wire sling on his arm? Yeah, that was an intense scene when he got caught by what's her name? Angela? What's her name? Not Angela. Angela. What's her name? What's Falcone's sister's name? Sophia. When Sophia caught him and she's torturing him, they have the wire under his arm cutting him. Yeah, that was.
She's a big girl in the comics, isn't she?
Sophia.
Falcone. I'm not
sure. I think that character Hangman is a real character in the comics.
Yeah. She was in the Long Halloween, wasn't she?
Yes. I do think the show is pulling from a lot of like The Sopranos. The drivers like pulled directly out of Tulsa King, where he just makes this kid his assistant. Like,
right.
I'm a little like the mom is clearly the mom from The Sopranos, right?
It's close.
It's very like it's
here. Wow,
except that the mom and Livia in The Sopranos resents Tony. This one this one actually kind of likes him. She's just mean to him. She's just mean.
Rito said this a while ago. His mom's house, the same as Tony's mother's house.
Yeah,
too.
It's very similar, right? Yeah.
I got a kick out of it when she's like, "What are you, a little pussy boy? What you?"
Yeah.
You're my big strong boy. I was like, oh boy, this is getting weird.
And poor Victor is sitting there like, what happened?
But like Victor, he saw too much of that. Like, I don't think he should have been privy to that, or at least At least Oz should have looked at him and said, "Get the fuck out of here," or
he
go
told
in
him,
the
he's
room.
like, you tell, what does he say? He's like, you say anything that happens here, I will kill you, and I'm inclined to believe that. I'll buy it. I mean, most of the original. Well, the thing is, it's like reverse Tim Drake. If you guys are like real like Batman people, it's the he finds the kid on the street that he sees that has maybe some potential, and I'll buy that because I don't know, and also
Right, so
like
you
a lot
like
of
Victor.
I'm in on Victor, and a lot of the first Batman comics were not told from Batman's perspective. When they introduced Robin, Batman was no longer your point of reference. So it's kind of hard to get inside of Oswald's head because he's again so deceptive and devious and quick that to give us Victor as a lens almost makes it more palatable for us as the audience.
Rito says the sushi. Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Rito says the sushi ending was good.
Slushy. He corrected himself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, slushy. There you go.
Yeah, because it
doesn't
pulls
taste
back
better when you
their
mix
first
with the
conversation.
flavors.
Yeah.
That's what kids do nowadays. Kids do that. My son
God,
loves to do that. They love to mix all the flavors.
I was at Wendy's the other day, and there was a kid in front of me, and you know the you had those new machines where you could put any flavor you want. So they were like, I'm just standing there. I'm like, can we hurry this up, please? He's there for like 3 minutes.
I got Yacht Rock to listen to. Beat it.
Billy Judd says if the Riddler gets his series, then Jim Carrey better reprise his role as the titular character. Billy just wants to see old characters make cameos. That's what Billy's into.
Is the Riddler alive, or did they kill him in the show? In the movie?
He's alive. He's in Arkham.
He's in Arkham.
He's the Joker's cellmate, bunkmates.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Or they're next door to each other. They can talk through the walls.
They're neighbors.
Yeah. They got a very. Never mind. I was gonna say a Vince McMahon text, but I'm just gonna keep it to myself. Anyway, what are you gonna say, Mike?
I like it. I'm gonna keep watching it. I
thought you weren't gonna like it.
No,
you had mentioned you had said something in the text about it not being great, and I was like, oh, I thought.
No, in my mind, like it. I think it could have a longer life. It could clear itself of any expectations. Like if this was just a mob story, we'd all think. I think we would be very impressed with it, as opposed to being.
If it was a mob story,
really like the Penguin.
If it was a mob story, I wouldn't have watched it.
Yeah, me too.
Right,
I don't.
Fair enough.
I don't like mob movies, and I don't like mob
bullies.
shows. I don't like
mob
bullies.
Movies?
I don't like bullies.
Why do you like me? I'm all of those things.
I don't know. You're very endearing for some reason. I said this on our first show ever. It was just me and Matt. I don't like bullies, and mafia guys are nothing more than just bullies. And I tried watching Tulsa King, and as good as that show is, I don't like watching that. I don't like watching someone getting bullied by somebody. It makes me feel very bad, and I don't like it. So I don't watch them.
Still have a soul.
I do, yeah. I love a Bronx Tale. Like I love a Bronx Tale. Push it all deep down. But because this is in the Batman world, I'm watching it and I like it. And it's
fair enough.
That's the reason I do like it. If it was just a mafia show, I didn't watch Sopranos. I never watched a single episode of that show.
Really?
I'd never seen The Godfather. I'm sorry.
That one's not. There's no bullies in The Godfather.
Oh no,
not like Goodfellas. There's no like the whole busting. Yeah, I think you're talking about the busting balls thing when they're just on each other publicly in front of their friends and just ripping them. There's really none of that in The Godfather.
I don't mind mobsters doing mobster things with other mobsters. That doesn't bother me. I don't like it. I don't like it when when he goes in Tulsa King, he goes into a CBD store and like just bullies the guy into giving him half his money that's in his safe. Like that sucks to me. Like I don't like that. It bothers me so much to my soul.
But that's what the mob did.
I understand. I know, and that's why I don't like them. They're not good. Nice.
You got to pay protection. Protection from who? From me.
That guy's special report. The mob are not nice people.
That's right.
There you go. That's
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
This show we're coming out with a lesson. The mob is not good.
Yeah. Right. There you go.
I'm interested to keep watching it.
I'm going to keep watching it too. Very, very excited. When does it come out every week? What day does it come out?
I think the
Anybody
next one's
know?
on the 29th.
Okay. It's on
Yeah.
Superbox if you want to check it out. That's how I
Huh?
watched it. It's on Superbox
So it's every Sunday moving forward.
every Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. So is an episode 2 out now, or is no? We just got one.
No, we just got
Okay.
one.
No,
right.
there's a weird gap between the first and the second, but then it's every week. Billy, I
Okay.
agree with you. What he wrote, Sylvester Stallone is at his best in Tulsa King. I agree. He's excellent in that show.
Yeah. Hell, the acting is great. The acting is great. He really makes me feel very bad. He does a good job. But we got one more chat in here. Oh no, we got. All right, I think that's gonna do it, everybody. We trying our hardest to stay under 2 hours so that we can edit this in a good manner, make some good shorts or good reels or whatever the kids are doing these days. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thanks for all. We had so many chats today and so many comments. That was a lot of fun interacting with all you guys. Welcome to the new people. We love to see new people every week. That's great. We got another comment here. What do we got? Rito. Get Rito on the pod. Oh boy, Rito's trying to work his way onto the show one of these days. We'll see about that. But what's our goal for next week, boys? We have a topic for next week. Is it Yacht Rock week or something?
A show about
What's it gonna
something.
be? A show about something. That's what we do best. I think that's what we do best. But until then, thanks everybody
Vince
for listening.
McMahon.
Vince McMahon. That's it. That'll be our
Doc?
topic next week.
So our final episode next week.
Yes. Yeah. The finale. The finale of Toxic Fandom. But all right,
Six in a
everybody.
row. Going out on a high note.
Peace out, everybody.